Namaste, Pranam, meditation on the Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. Ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O bestower of the nectar-like knowledge of Advaita, non-dualism, O goddess content in the 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Now, Krishna Vandana. Vasudevasutam devam kansachanuramardhanam devakim paramanandam krishnam vande jagadguru. O son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of Kansa and Chanur. O heartthrob, the extreme delight of Mother Devaki. O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe. My salutations to you. So today we take up the 14th shloka of the Sankhya Yoga, the philosophical treatise of the Bhagavad Gita, second adhyaya. Sri Krishna is talking about feelings pertaining to body. Now in the previous shloka, Sri Krishna has spoken about the nature of death and how the Atman remains the same. Body undergoes all the changes of birth, childhood, youth, and finally the old age. And in the same manner, it is part of the same process of getting born, getting into the stage of childhood, stage of youth, stage of old age, and then stage of giving this body. That is also a part of the same process that Sri Krishna says. So Atman is everlasting. It is always permanent. And now Sri Krishna talks about how if the Atman is permanent, then how come the body gets affected? So Sri Krishna is telling now, mātrā-sparśhās kaunteya śhītoṣhṇa-sukha-duḥkha-dāḥ āgamāpāyino nityās tans-titikṣhasva Bharata. Now Sri Krishna says, mātrā-sparśhās kaunteya. O Kaunteya, O Arjuna, mātrā-sparśhās. It is indeed the contact of senses with objects. Matra is the senses. Sparsha is the touch, contact. It is only through the contact, through the touch of our senses with objects, O Krishna, O Arjuna, śhītoṣhṇa-sukha-duḥkha-dāḥ. One experiences śhītoṣhṇa, the coldness, the warmth, the heat, and sukha-dukkha, the pleasure and pain. It is only through the contact of senses with their objects, respective objects, O Arjuna, one feels, one realizes the heat and cold, pleasure and pain. āgamāpāyino nityās. Āgamāpāyinah is being with beginning and end. Nityās, impermanent. tans-titikṣhasva, thou bear them. O Bharata, O descendant of the king Bharata. O Arjuna, O kaunteya, this pleasure and pain, the heat and cold, experiencing these is just a matter of senses coming in contact with objects. Hmm? Contacts of senses with their objects create, O son of Kunti, feelings of heat and cold, of pain and pleasure. They come and go. They are anitya. They are impermanent. Bear them patiently, O Bharata. Titikshasva. Bear it patiently. Don't get perturbed. Oh, I'm so. Don't get elated that you are so happy. Don't get dejected that you are unhappy, that you are in pain. Accept whatever comes to your Lord very patiently. That is the trick of the trade. And that is what Sri Krishna is teaching Arjuna. The sense organs such as eye, ear, contact their objects which are form, sound, etc. The sensations caused this way are both favorable and unfavorable. We see some good sight. Our eyes come in contact with some beautiful sight, some beautiful painting, and we get such a great joy out of it. But at the same time, the eyes look at something very ugly, very bad, very sad, and suddenly we get into the mood of pain, we get into the mood of gloom. It is the same eye. The eye has not changed. What has changed is the touch of the eye with that object. If it is a beautiful flower, oh, say such a beautiful flower. But if it happens to be some very, ugly, bad-looking insect, we just try to take away our sight from that. Oh, we don't want to look at all those things. But why? See, it is just the object has changed. I remain same. Same thing. We hear something very good, very pleasant, some beautiful, soothing music. It enters our ears, and we say, "Oh, what a beautiful song it is." But at the same time, on another occasion, we hear some fellow shouting and uttering a very, bad, language, abusing somebody. And then we say, oh, no, 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 we don't want to get I don't want to listen to this, bura mat dekho, bura mat suno, that kind of attitude. But Sri Krishna says, all those experiences, they are impermanent, they are they are not permanent. So bear with it patiently. Whatever comes to your Lord. Today you are seeing a good thing, you feel pleasure. Next moment, you might see something very horrible, very bad, and you get into that mood of pain, with mood of disgust. So don't get into that. Don't be like a pendulum. One time you're happy, one time you're unhappy. Bear everything patiently. So that is what Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna. That the feelings come along with the sense contacts and disappear when the sense do not function. Supposing I have closed my eyes, would presence of a beautiful sight affect me? Or would some presence of something very ugly, something very bad, something despisable? My eyes are closed. I cannot reach them. My senses cannot reach those objects. So I am unmoved. What is happening, next door, we are not aware. Are we getting perturbed by that? Why should we? So that is what happens. A sense object that gives pleasure at one time gives pain at another time. That can happen. So heat and cold may be cited as examples. The food that is delicious, inviting while one is in health, turns loathsome when in sickness. I love to eat fish curry, I love to eat chicken curry, I love to eat sweets, but if I am not well, can I even think of enjoying that taste, that feeling? No. So it is all relative. How I look at it. And that's what Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, that practice titiksha. Be impatient. Have great amount. Don't be impatient. Have great amount of patience. Don't get perturbed by good and bad. Don't get perturbed by pleasure and pain. Don't get perturbed by happiness and sorrow. So that is the thing. The practice thereof is not affected by pleasure and pain. That is what diksha is. That one should get into that stage. One should get stage in the same sightedness. So what? The dualities are always there. Dualities start affecting us only when the senses come in contact with those objects. So what? Happening is happening, whether good or bad, whether of pleasure or pain. So you be unmoved, you be patient, and get into that elevated stage of titiksha. O Bharata, be patient, be unmoved by these changes of dualities. So don't start mourning, and don't start elating if you are winning the war. And at the same time, don't get into a gloomy mode thinking of you're going to kill them. Nothing here is permanent. Only Atman is permanent. Rejoice in that. Don't feel good or bad. Don't feel pleasure or pain. Don't feel hot or cold. These are just impermanent things. These never last long. The one moment you are happy, next moment you are unhappy. Today you are in grief, tomorrow you are in pleasure. Today you are unhappy, tomorrow you are joyous. Next moment, maybe. So don't get with these feelings pertaining to the body. Don't fall into this trap. That is Sri Krishna's teaching to Arjuna. And then in the next chapter, he will tell us how does one become fit for this enlightenment, for getting into the stage of becoming unmoved by the dualities being faced, being experienced by the senses. So for today, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.